copious stylings of myself and Mr. Tom White. Alright, I'm sticking to the script, Tom, but all the early lines on here are from you. I think I'm just supposed to shut up and take it. Alright. Is the projector on? We apologize.
Test.
That works.
Okay.
What?
I do apologize. This is unfortunately what happens just when you're smushing one panel up against the other.
We're fine.
Yep, we do what we can. Our wonderful volunteers here do what they can. And together we present you with entertainment. Just give the man a hand here. Alright.
Let's switch it on. Where's the switch?
Hi.
Alright. Some evil genius you are.
I asked this before.
Derek, you good?
For sound from your laptop, right? That would be the PC. Did you turn up all the way to 4?
Oh yeah. Mind you, there are people talking. If they're a little bit quieter.
I've seen everybody else, but not Nostalgia Chicken.
You know what? Yeah.
Where's the green pluggy? Yeah, there's a green.
Oh, but yeah, green pluggy. Oh yeah, Tom.
Detective working.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to do a slight test here.
Yeah. What? Fighting crime, future time.
Why so hard? Right?
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
I'm Scooby
Alright. Hey everyone, thanks for coming to our little panel titled Unintentional Comedy, The Dreadening. I'm Tom White, aka He's an Evil Genius, and this is my good friend Derek Burrow, aka Derek the Bard.
We review things on the interwebs.
I do the video series Weird Video Games, which has been featured on Making You Stupid, Blistered Thumbs, and that covered the glasses. I also do an unintentional comedy series called Golden Cheese and other funny videos and articles that can be seen on my website, he'seanevilgenius.com.
I review books, movies, and retro cartoon shows over on Chasing the Muse. I'm also associated with Geek Vision TV, Sin-Wicked Critiques, and RickyTopia.net. And I play weekly on Radio Dead Air.
Folks, what we are about to show you is a rare form of comedy. Comedy that is created by sheer accident at the hands of people trying to create serious entertainment.
Yeah, now, we're not just showing you random clips from random movies. Oh no. There's an internal logic to this. We have carefully selected everything through a scientific method that I drank a lot last night and I've completely forgotten now.
Every clip featured in this panel comes from a professionally released television show, movie, novel, comic book, or video game. And to show you nothing is sacred, let's start off with a part of a video game that's not even intended to be entertainment, the game's anti-piracy warning. This is from the game Dodonpachi by Atlas.
It is?
And what does their legal team have to say about piracy? This game is for use in Japan only. Sales, export, operation, blah 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 blah. Violator and subject to severe penalties and will be prosecuted to the full extent of the jam.
Okay, go ahead. Prosecute me to the fullest extent of the frickin' jam.
You do not want to mess with the jam industry. You don't get a name like Smuckers without occasionally beating down some arcade-themed bootleggers. What's that? You want to play this game outside Japan? Well, guess what? You'll just get smuckered, son!
Motherfucker! What, Smucker?
Okay. Everyone here remember the Cops cartoon?
Yeah.
No!
Okay.
Fighting crime in a future time.
where every cop has his own shtick. You know that scene in Last Action Hero where they go into the precinct and everyone's being hilariously mismatched with their new partner? Yeah. Imagine an entire police department that ran entirely on that logic. It's like that. Only it's a futuristic cartoon show with science.
Science! Bad science.
In this panel, we hope to show you the gripping origin story of how the Chief, Bulletproof, turned into a cyborg. Basically, it involves a lot of screaming.
What? Hey, don't scream.
I just want you to keep in mind, this all happens before he turns into a cyborg. This is what we like to call an exponential increase in badassery.
Or in medical terms, incremental awesomeness.
You know what we're doing, folks? We're science doctors.
And who can forget that classic episode where the robot dog Blitz was reprogrammed by the crooks? Apparently the mayor is also a mime. What's going on here? Did the voice actor who plays the mayor not show up to work that day? Or does the mayor just prefer to express himself through interpretive dance? What is it, boy? Something about the mayor? One word? 3 syllables? The mayor is nonchalant? Frustrated? Wistful? No, that's only 2 syllables. Wait, I've got it! The mayor is furious.
How did you get that off of me flipping you off? I was trying to tell you I was joking, you jackass!
Here, this should be fun of you, for those of you with a rudimentary understanding of the laws of physics. Try to explain what's going on here.
What? What? Where's the bag? I was like, we got a replay on that? We got a replay on that?
Let's just remember here, though, that this is the same show where an entire police department was once beaten up by a single child because he refused to behave, and where the king of crime for the entire city, the Grand Don, if you will, the Capo de Tutti Kappa, was once kidnapped by his elderly mother, who was only 5 feet tall, because she grabbed him by the ear. In cops, physics and common sense are everyone else's bitches.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hi, Derek.
Well, hi, Tom.
You know what a popular movie was this year?
Well, yes, I do. This is a stupid segue. Here's an Avengers video game.
You just hate fun.
Oh, God.
You mother bitch! You will be the one to hate me.
Get on the dictionary.
Oh snap, guys. Captain America just got smuggered!
How?
Okay, show of hands. Who here has never seen Star Wars?
We need more room for twins.
Well, for those of you who raised your hands, which was evidently more than 0, I have this great movie to show you that, for all you know, is totally original.
Is it what I think
It's called
it is?
Star Crash, and no, the title doesn't make sense even in context. Marvel at the marvelous marvels contained herein.
Is that Ben Stiller?
Why does a lightsaber make whipping sounds? Wait. Does this movie feature Tom Baker fighting a Cyberman with a lightsaber?
Yes.
Your eyes do not deceive you, ladies and gentlemen. You are indeed watching David Hasselhoff fight a robot with a lightsaber.
And it gets better. Oh, look out, he's almost about to attack.
Wow. Okay, evidently these robots are made of explosive styrofoam. Light as a feather, but turns into a torrent of sparks on impact. But while Star Crash might be a triumph of special effects and fight choreography, it does surprisingly have its flaws. Like continuity. Here, watch this clip, and let's try to keep track of how many ships they're fighting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them, right? Did I get that? It looks like there's 6, but it's kind of hard to tell. Oh, there's 5 of them. Fine, sure. There's 3. No, 2. Oh, okay, they just separated.
There's 5.
Who is she talking to? What is she talking to? Oh, whatever. Okay, then so now there's 4, right? Oh, 3? Okay, now there are 2.
Wait, one more.
Okay.
What?
Wait, okay, maybe she just lost track of 2 of them, but there's definitely 3 left.
What?
Well, I see 2 ships there, so there 2? Okay, so now there's only 1. Sure, there's only 1 left.
There it is. There it is.
What's he saying?
He's trying to sing about.
They won? They totally don't even know what my name is anymore.
It's Chauncey Houlihan.
Okay, thanks. Actually, maybe you folks can help me reorient my brain. Who here can tell me a few short, basic facts about space?
It's a vacuum. No one can hear you scream. It's 3.
Congratulations, you know more than the guy who wrote and directed this film. Oh, you know what? Cut this thing out.
Let me put it this way. In this scene, there is a spaceship with glass windows. Boarding capsules break through the windows. Amazingly, no one is sucked into the vacuum of space. Everyone's helmet looks like a penis. There is an arrow pointing down the front of the helmet to their forehead for convenient aiming, and for some reason, everyone's gun is a laser crossbow. Star Crash, ladies and gentlemen, the first word in quality.
Okay, move on. This next movie, Invincible Super Chan, is one of the most hilarious kung fu movies I've seen. Your mileage may vary, but I think this speaks for itself.
The finest in stop-motion kung fu, ladies and gentlemen.
even touch him.
You did see that right. He turned into cardboard, and I'm pretty sure I saw that movie in an episode of Power Rangers Ninja Force. Ninja Storm.
That's a pretty violent episode of Power Rangers.
Yeah, Hurricaneer was a weird show. The projector go off? No.
It's kind of hard not to find this movie endearing. Okay, is this clip going to play?
Live, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, maybe.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to move on. Okay. Well, we've gone from Italian cinema to Chinese cinema, and to show that I'm an equal opportunity sarcastic jerk, let's shift our focus to a little movie from India called Robot. Wait, did I say little? I mean the biggest budget movie in the history of the world.
No.
Oh yeah.
So you can all be totally impressed with this ridiculously over-the-top fight scene. Here's what you need to know. A girl's in trouble, robot helps her.
Yes. Right?
He is in fact more powerful than a locomotive. It's kind of like Matrix meets the Terminator. I'm not sure whether that eye thing is a bug or a perk.
I was gonna say.
Okay, so Tom, I'll see your Indian robot fight scene and raise you Dutch pirate zombie Santa Claus killing SWAT officers.
That sounds awesome.
That is awesome.
Isn't that St. Nicholas?
That is indeed St. Nicholas.
What? Oh! Piano.
That is awesome.
Okay, so for those of us who didn't watch this movie with you in Sin Wicked's house in Peterborough, what is this movie called?
This movie is called Saint, or Saint, and it's about the zombie pirate St. Nicholas, who kidnaps and murders children and coughs, and at the end of the movie poses on a cathedral like that.
So it's a kid's movie. To be fair, as awesome as Santa Claus decapitating a dude with a crozier is, I just don't find it so unintentionally hilarious.
Come on, it's awesome! I'm giving you genius, you're gonna be jockish here.
Okay, yeah, I guess zombie Santa Claus fin slicing a dude's head off is pretty out there. I just don't find it that unintentionally funny, at least not in the same sense as this next scene. Here, tell us about the hero of this movie.
Well, sure, he's a jaded detective who hates Christmas and St. Nicholas so much that the very sight of a Christmas present makes him violently angry.
Oh my God, is that a puppy in there?
There's wine in there.
Wait, why did it go
There's no context we're not showing you here. He opened fire on a Christmas present simply because it was a Christmas present. That's how much he hates Christmas, folks. By the way, Derek, what is that thing you just said about jockish? Sounded familiar?
Let me educate you, Tom.
I'm giving you genius, and you're giving me jockish.
Generation X. I might have known.
You make it sound like there are other movies.
So much hate, Derek. Okay, enough movies. Let's do some comics. And you know what? We're going to start with the classics. Superman. This is from the very second issue of the Superman comic. What story is this?
Superman goes down before a firing squad barrage.
I should mention this is early in the comic, so the world doesn't really know about Superman yet.
Like shotguns.
The soldiers do seem oddly unalarmed that they're being ordered to shoot some dude in blue tights, but whatever. as the squad commences to march away.
Just a minute, boys. Try again.
Can't understand how all of you missed him. But there's one thing I'm sure of, it won't happen again.
Oh, how this is beginning to bore me.
That's supposed to be filled with flags! Ow! My foot!
This is kind of like a
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my privilege to introduce you to the first too stupid to live henchman in the history of superheroes.
It gets better.
Now let's just skip ahead to one single panel in issue number 4.
Changing into a Superman costume, the reporter races towards Oklahoma with the agility of a startled antelope.
Do you think when Jerry Siegel wrote this, he did it totally straight face, or was he snickering all the time? Okay, everyone, prepare yourself for Battle Rangers. No, it has nothing to do with Power Rangers.
Oh!
It's an arcade shoot 'em up about. Well, I'm gonna let this general explain the plot.
Your mission is to rescue kidnapped president alive! You understand? Go ahead!
No, I don't think I understand. Where do I...
You understand? Go ahead!
Yes, General. But really, the General is much more eloquent than the bad guys in this game. Check out the rapier wit on this goof. You, invaders! Get you the hot bullets of the shotgun to die.
We got a genius on our hands here, Tom, and maybe he shouldn't bring his shotgun to a fight with a guy who has a freaking rapid-fire rocket launcher! Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is a clip from a book that I actually had people reading from last year. This book is called Vampires in Their Own Words, an anthology of vampiric voices, and it is, in point of fact, about people who actually think they're vampires.
Yeah, this thing is batty. Here, read the bit about the nut who legitimately thinks she can shapeshift.
I'm a shapeshifter, meaning that I can move my astral body around in all sorts of ways. It's a shaman tool. At rest with no attempt to shape it to match my physical form, my astral body is just basically a mass of tentacles that constantly test the air around me. People who are psychically aware have often been very disturbed by seeing these tentacles. When I change shape, heck, for that matter when I give my astral body a human shape like my physical form, I'm basically just winding and bundling and fusing tentacles together into whatever shape I like. This was written by a woman named Raven Caldera, ladies and gentlemen.
Sweet Jesus!
Raven Caldera. Now, I know on the internet we have weird names. I'm Derek the Bard. His name is a sentence with no punctuation. And I interviewed a guy earlier named Todd who was apparently in the shadows even though we were outside at the time. But Raven Caldera. Okay, the first word is a legitimate name. I do actually know a couple people named Raven. And you know what? Other words could be names, you know, Apple, Moxie Crime Fighter, but Caldera? It's the mouth of a volcano. Yeah, guessing that's not the name her daddy gave her.
Still better than Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Raven Away.
That's a long one.
Yeah, that's from my Harry Potter fanfic.
That's from my immortal, ladies and gentlemen.
You'd almost think this book is intended as a joke, but then I look at its Amazon page and the reviews it's got. Look at this. I think it's a fantastic source for anyone who wants to learn more about what real vampires think about real vampirism. This is not the stuff of fiction or role-playing games. The people here don't come across as weirdos or crazies either, in my opinion.
No, weirdos are crazy. Tom, these people are pants on head crazy.
In fact, let's do this. I think it'll add some legitimacy.
Now, in this book, we're also offered some definitions. One of these is endarkment, a term coined by Lady Darkrose of House Sable Brahmin, and adopted by House Sekemu, because apparently vampires have houses now. Something. I don't know, folks. But it's a form of vampiric enlightenment. in which a vampire man, comes to a greater understanding of his vampiric self. And these pants are not comfortable on my head.
Okay, let's talk for a moment about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
An incredibly popular video game series that spawned an entire series of movie adaptations. Clearly it has a gigantic fan base, but let me ask you something. Have any of you actually played the first one?
Yes.
The movie is fancy molasses. All the context you need for this one is that Barry and Jill just left the dining room to find that Wesker has disappeared.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Why does she keep moving around like that? Did she have to use the bathroom?
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
The dining room?
Okay.
As in the room you just left, and where Wesker clearly wasn't
This
around?
mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's the lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
We're just here with our keys.
Jill Valentine, the master of unlocking.
You'd think if she was such an expert at picking locks, she'd, you know, have lock picks on her already. I can't figure it out.
Well, can't be helped. So, Archie comics is a thing.
Always.
I have this kind of weird fascination with Archie. They're like this comedy Ouroboros.
Ouroboros.
People who have no idea how to be funny try their hardest to be funny. And despite the fact that they've been doing this stuff for years, they still fail so spectacularly, it actually becomes funny. You have no idea how rare that is. Take this gag right here. Hello, Veronica. I'm glad to see you're feeling better.
I haven't been sick, Mr. Andrews.
Oh? Archie said you had a fever Saturday night.
Dad! I said Ronnie looks so fine that she's the new hotness.
See, isn't that just fascinating?
That doesn't even work whatsoever. Wow.
Everything about this comic is wrong. The joke isn't funny. The attempt at slang is garbage. Nothing even sounds remotely like fever, except maybe the word hotness. And even though Archie's pretty much speaking a language that can't possibly be English right now, there's no way Archie's dad has never heard the term hot before to describe a girl. Just, holy badness is bad! But I'm not done. I think more examples are called for. Like this one from Jughead Jones, Digest number 83. Here's a comic about Archie and Jughead getting stranded in the bad part of town. Wait, is that Alan Moore?
Yeah, dude, this is an Archie deconstruction comic. A hamburger junkie died in Riverdale tonight. He reached up and asked me for change, and I said, no.
I'm not crazy about this neighborhood. We're all the way on the other side of town.
Oh, there's also a bunch of tough-looking guys in here.
Because when I think of tough guys, I think of curly afros.
Hey.
How are we going to handle this?
Maybe if we sounded tough, too.
Let's not use our own names.
Okay, I get it. Let's use some real tough-sounding names.
You guys, you're not going to fool anyone into thinking you're tough. To start with, just look at what you're wearing. A white dress shirt and sweater vest with your high school letter on it. A bright pink sweater.
And a crown. So wear your crown, too.
Sure is.
Do you know why Jughead wears a crown? Because he's the queen of Archie's world.
Are you quoting something?
Maybe.
But really, Jughead's clothes only heighten the freeness of this pose. Take a long gander at this healthy specimen.
There's more concentrated badass than a 5-year-old girl decked out in Hello Kitty gear, having tea time with her kitten and her brother, or just G.I. Joes. At least the Joes have a kung fu grip and the kitten has claws.
Hey, Spike, do you think they have a phone in here?
I don't know, Hammer!
Archie and Jughead, masters of subterfuge. Here's a great way to avoid unwanted attention. Loudly and suspiciously converse with each other entirely as an excuse to use your brand new made-up tough guy names.
Spike and Hammer. Never heard of them. Let's check these guys out. We know that tough guys are only tough because of their tough names. Their names like Spike. And at this moment, you're only conjuring up 2 images in your head. One of them is very short and purple. Here's another example for those of you who saw the movie Hackers. Razor and Blade. Because when I think tough, I think 2 skinny guys in kabuki makeup. And for those of you who saw Muppet Treasure Island, big fat ugly bug-faced baby-eating O'Brien. Yeah, Ellis Flint was kind of terrifying in that movie.
You want to use the phone.
It's over there.
You must be tough guys. Proceed. Look at this. If this is how Archie acts tough, I can't even imagine him acting like a sissy.
Hello? Al's Garage? This is...
Tell him, Arch.
Al, this is Archie. You can't hear me? I said this is Archie. Archie! Archie!
Look at these guys. Are they all mad at the nerve of this guy that he doesn't have a tough guy name? Or maybe they're just mad because he's trying to have a game of pool and some idiot is yelling his name into a phone. Archie, I thought your name was Spike. Oh, it can't possibly be a nickname, right? Clearly Spike is a name given to a child by his mother during a birthing process known as the trial of iron and snakes, thereby ensuring their child the life of being a tough guy. You can't say the same for the woman who named her kid Hammer. All she did was ensure her son's successful rap career in the mid-90s.
Easy, guys. Moose is coming over to fix the car.
Yeah, Moose is coming.
First we get Spike and Hammer, and who's Moose? A girl? Well, actually, I guess yeah, if you watch the old Disney cartoon show Pepper Ann.
You know, I think this is actually how this sort of situation would go down. The writers are trying to make it look like these guys are here to pick a fight for flimsy reasons, but really this is about our heroes being deservedly ridiculed for being fantastic spazzes. This is such an unintended parallel to Napoleon Dynamite. I wouldn't be surprised if Archie tried to tell me he spent the holidays hunting Wolverines with illegal ninja moves he learned from the government.
Shakespeare says, "What's in a name? Would not that which we call a rose by any other name smell just as sweet?"
I don't know.
We're sure not sure.
We'll take Shakespeare's word for it.
Okay, but I'll bet he's never been on the other side of town.
Jughead, you magical idiot. And that had nothing to do with it. The reason you got in trouble is because you were making up obvious lies to try to impress people. If they actually just acted like their normal dopey selves and used their real names, the other guys probably wouldn't have even noticed them. Would have helped if he took off the crown, though. Maybe didn't stand like this. Just look at this. When I was in high school, this would be the guy the nerds would pick up.
I stand by my Kevin Smith quote.
But my favorite part of Archie is when they decide, amidst all the awful puns and painful attempts to connect with today's youth, they're going to throw in a dramatic story, like maybe a detective story or science fiction. That's when we end up with something like this. This comes from Archie Double Digest number 134.
As the sunlight begins to warm the surface of Miss Beasley's leftovers, a strange chemical reaction begins to happen. The ingredients begin to boil and churn, and then it almost seems to breathe.
Archie just disproved creationism.
Guys, just a heads up on your choice to do a horror story. I think it kind of takes away from the scariness factor when you have Archie's smiling face on the cover.
Oh my stars!
Jughead, that thing is Ethel! Do something!
Okay, I'll finish your lunch.
Wow, Jughead, that is cold.
I think Big Ethel just got smothered. It's leaving! We better follow it!
Yes, let us hapless, overly effeminate high school students all run after the giant compost monster.
Yeah, this would have gone a lot differently if it happened in Sunnydale High.
Miss Grundy, notify the proper authorities when we trail this thing at a safe distance.
Okay, that actually sort of makes sense. You know, calling the authorities, not pointlessly endangering your students by chasing monsters, but... Yeah, he did say from a safe distance, so I can't say this is totally stupid.
Is that a sex swing?
Let's not say this.
So they're going for the whole it's not a monster, it's just sweet and misunderstood, eh? Archie Comics masterfully sways from one cliche to another.
Well, how do we stop it, Dilton?
Water!
There's no time to quench your thirst, young man.
Yeah, because that's what I do when I'm thirsty. That's it! Water! Guys, I'm gonna get a glass of water, thereby slaking my thirst.
Ingenious!
Do I not amaze you? Since our creature is made of concentrated food products, a large blast of water should blow it into a pile of lifeless leftovers.
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't!
No! It really doesn't. Where do we get the water?
I know! The emergency fire hose on the side of the stage. Oh, you mean that stage you're all looking at? Some principal you've got here, he doesn't know where his own emergency fire hose is when it's right in front of him. Look, the monster's not going anywhere. No one's in any immediate danger. Why don't you just wait for those authorities you called? It's turning! The water's on the way!
Eat H2O, food man!
They gave Mr. Weatherby an action movie one-liner. No, scratch that. They gave Mr. Weatherby an action movie one-liner, and the best they could come up with is eat H2O, food man.
Nice to meet you, food man. No, wait, that doesn't work. I'm really having trouble with water puns here.
You're all
Awesome. They just established the monster was only infatuated with a girl and meant them no harm, and they solved the problem by murdering it. And then they literally danced on its corpse. What kind of message is that? This is a children's comic book, right?
Eat hearty, people. There's still plenty left. Everybody just seems to ignore the fact that the cafeteria food comes to life and kidnaps you. It seems like an important detail.
How can anyone eat anything she makes ever again? How is this woman even still employed? Her cooking is so bad, she literally created a monster. And what happened to those authorities they supposedly called?
I think they were all trying in vain to save the mayor's new house.
I understand the mayor is furious. Wizards of the Lost Kingdom is one of those sword sorcery movies that, to look at, you'd think this is an Italian exploitation piece, like Star Crash. But no, it's actually from Finland, and it's got everything. Weird little pig monsters, silly hats, and I think that's Moses. Ridiculous wizard duels, everything.
But does it have wizard chicken? Wizards are famously not very dexterous, so their swaying dodges seem to make sense.
You can trust Derek on this, he's a wizard like Ryan. Oh, they even have a vanilla Chewbacca.
Why is there a kid in a Yeti? Do Yetis have X-ray vision now?
Did a critter just run by? Why isn't this movie about it?
There, kid. Magic you up a new father. Want some ice cream? Yeah? Want some ice cream? But really, the best part about this movie is the incredible acting and the groundbreaking special effects.
He must use his powers. He must gaze into the flame. By the eye of Agamotto! This is the power of the spice.
The spice must flow, ladies and gentlemen.
The spice explodes water, apparently.
What? Before the guy's like, oh no.
Now, what just happened here? One way of putting it is that a man did everything in his power to please his cruel master, who killed him anyway, and that's not really funny. So why am I laughing so hard? Probably because another way of putting it is that a man in a very silly hat just evaporated an Oompa Loompa.
Did I hear him shouting Hadouken?
Yeah, that sounds like what they should have been shouting in the wizard battle earlier. Okay, our next movie is Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. Now, what would you expect from the title Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave?
Wizard chicken?
Bruce Lee?
Okay, we're apparently skipping the scene of Wizard chicken.
No, we're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wizard chicken!
Yeah, okay, yeah, that does kind of sum it up. Wizard and chicken, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't know how many accidental deaths are caused every year by kids playing Wizard chicken. They're fucking war zone out there.
I can't imagine the authorities are very happy about that. Next we have Heart Ticket to Hawaii, a fantastically absurd movie. I don't even need to set up this next clip. All you need to know is that the guy with the man purse is the good guy, and the guy with the Uzi is a bad guy. Well, your story checks out. In fact, your frisbee skill makes me so confident you have no ulterior motives that I'm just going to go ahead and put my gun away.
Oh yeah? You didn't catch this.
Frisbee!
Wow. Razor blade death frisbee, son. Raise the roof for me, Derek. The roof is thusly raised. Okay, I'm not sure I can prepare you for the next clip, so I'm just going to throw it up there.
What the? How did they see the gun?
There's a great line here.
The bazooka? The only gun I can hit a moving target with.
Okay, I'm not sure I can understand what's going on here without providing some diagrams. Let's see. Okay, the Jeep backs into him, which instead of flattening him or sending him flying backwards, somehow propels him straight up. So high, they have time to pull out a bazooka and blast him while he's still in midair, and still have time to line up a second shot to take out the doll. Actually, now that I've created these little diagrams, I think what I would really like for Christmas this year is one of those old school Tiger handheld games depicting just the scene. Moving on. I'm not really sure how to introduce X-Men because we're at a convention. Those of you who don't know who the X-Men are here because someone who's underage needed adults to accompany them. Or you're some significant other who got dragged along. Maybe both, we're not judging.
That's enough. Put up the clip.
Yeah, in my opinion, Uncanny X-Men number 3, the third appearance of the X-Men. They're fighting a circus. No, I'm serious. They tried to recruit the Blob, who turned his entire circus into a group of supervillains. And as such, they deemed it best to use circus gimmicks to fight a powerful brand of mutant superheroes. Didn't expect the flying Zambubas to tackle you this way, did you?
Zambubas? Good versatility. Now let's bring them down to Earth. Their act is that two men fly out of a cannon, having been presumably packing head to ass human centipede cannon.
Yeah, shooting yourself out of a cannon at a man who can fly, that's gotta be the dumbest way to subdue someone.
Not as dumb as being the guy at the back of the cannon.
I stand corrected. This is the dumbest. What kind of thought process went into the strategy? Look, Beast is coming right at us. Quick, form a human pyramid and catch him between our thighs. How does this even cross someone's mind?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, Tom.
Okay, this next one requires just a little bit of explanation. In Uncanny X-Men number 9, Professor Xavier confronts a supervillain by himself, despite being in a wheelchair and bald.
Being bald isn't a disability, Tom.
Okay, the X-Men follow him, but after a while he stops sending them the psychic messages. And then this happens. Look out! You'll stumble into that hole in front of you.
There's not enough time to sidestep, but by telekinetically putting the log over it, I can step in in safety.
Well done, Marvel Girl.
That thought! It's a professor!
The Uncanny X-Men! Solving minor, easily avoidable inconveniences!
There's plenty of wackiness going on here I'm not sure I even need to comment on, but I'd like to draw attention to the fact that the professor, while wrapped up in a life or death struggle, finally manages to break his silence in order to congratulate Jean Grey for not tripping over a hole. But whatever, this was back in the 60s, back when making comics as stupid was possible, was Marvel. 25 years later, the X-Men were being adapted into cartoons and video games, so things got a little bit better, like this arcade game.
Master of Magnet.
Man, he says the word shield like he's taking a dump.
Shield!
X-Chicken is a pretty sick bird.
Unfortunately, at this point, folks are out of time, but we do want to end on the wisdom of one of the great sages of our time. Once Tom cues it up. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest pieces of wisdom ever. Drop that zero to get with the hero. Thanks for coming out. We apologize that our technical difficulties cut things a little on the short side. Now then, I suppose in the next room over is someone far more famous and important than us, who will be doing the panel that you've all been really waiting for.